Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this one, we're going to continue our work. So we have already started working on Lab 1 on AZ400 Agile Planning and Portfolio Management with Azure Boards. We have completed our exercise 0 configuring the lab prerequisites. We created a project and organization. We completed our exercise 1 where we created new teams. We defined the areas, included the sub areas, and we defined the iterations. Three different iterations we have created for three different sprints, and please review the couple of videos that we have previously. In the last video, we worked on managing the work items. So over here we have created our tasks, our features, and within that we have our task. We have learned how to look at our work, our backlogs, okay, and we also look at how to look at the backlogs as a board view, and we have learned how to move this from new state to approved state to committed state to done state, a different state. uh, so in this video we are going to continue where we kind of left off. So we're going to start with task 3, and where now our sprint stories and tasks are there. Now we have to see, do we have the capacity, do we have enough people to get all the tasks that we have defined to get done. Okay, so let's get started. So as I said, in this task, we're going to step through some of the common sprint and the capacity management task. Now, we all know that a sprint backlog that teams build, okay, during a sprint planning, and sometimes even like when you were thinking about some new feature, you can go and add that a feature or a story, something that you have, some idea that you have in mind, you just add it to the backlog. So usually we do the sprint planning on the very first day of the sprint. We go through all the tasks on the in the backlog. Okay, we review our backlog items. We go to the backlog items. We see, do we have any backlog items? And we go through the backlog items. Then we bring the backlog items in our sprint based on our capacity. Now, each sprint corresponds to a time boxed intervals. Usually, I have all the sprints that I have been there 2 weeks. You may be seeing a sprint that is 3 weeks. Sometimes, if there's a lot of vacation, you can adjust the sprint length. Planning meetings typically consist of two parts. Okay, in the first part, team and the product owner identify the backlog item that the team feels it can commit to completion in the sprint based on the experience with the previous sprints. These items get added to the sprint backlog. In the second part, the team determines how it will develop and test each item. So it's a very good summary of things that we typically do in the real world. Finally, the team's commits to the implementing some or all of the items based on this estimate. So you still have to go through your time estimate, make sure that you can do. If you cannot do not bring it to your sprint. Put it for the future sprint. So some more information, the sprint backlog should contain all the information the team needs to successfully plan and complete work within the time allotted without having to rush at the end. So you should give yourself some time to review, make sure that the work is good. And even before you start the sprint planning, you want to go through your backlog and prioritize and estimate the items and the work that are already part of the backlog. So now let's get started with the lab. So in the vertical navigation pane, so which is this is that the vertical navigation plane, and this is my Azure DevOps. Okay, and we are working on this particular project. And in this one, let's go to the boards. Okay, so boards will be here. So click on that one to expand and bring up the boards. Okay, in the list of the board items, so this is a list of board items: work item, board, backlogs, sprints. So let's go to sprint because that is what we want to manage next. So if you click on this one, okay, on the task board tab of the sprint, which is this, I have multiple different tabs: backlog, here's the capacity, here's the analytics, here's the dashboard. That's the default one, and we are here. Okay. So in this one, On the right hand side, select the view options symbol. Okay, so we need to find out the view option symbol in here in our DevOps. So the view option symbol is right over here, and you kind of have to know what that is. You can take your mouse over here. So this one is for the into the full screen mode. That is for the setting. That's common icon. This is a common icon, but this is not. This is a filter icon. Sometimes even this one I see commonly used as a filter, and this one is actually not that common. And that icon means view option. So let's just click on that one. And if you click on that one, the one that we want for this particular task is the work details. Let's just click on that one. So what happened if you, as soon as you click on that one, it's going to give us the details of the work that is part of this particular sprint. And here's the total team got 8 hours, and there's 3 hours of design work and 5 hours of development work, and about 8 hours of work is not really assigned to anyone. That's what it's telling me now. Not very good. So just to improve, let's assign some users for this particular task. Let's just go there, and as per this, in that page for the most recent tutorial for that particular task, assign yourself. So click on the unassign and assign yourself, and assign the add page to yourself as well. So the other one, the add page for most recent tutorial task, adds page for most recent tutorial. Interesting. So both of them says the same thing. I think what they're trying to say, they may be trying to say that assign both tasks to yourself. Let me read it again. It says add page for most recent tutorial, add page for most recent tutorial, assign yourself. We did that. Okay, this assign the add page for most recent tutorial task to yourself. Again, assign page for most. Okay, so I'm not going to assign anything here because I see there either a mistake or something is not making quite sense to me. This automatically updates the work by assigned section in the work details section. So over here, so now since I have assigned this task to myself, I am showing up the having 8 hours of work, and this is still unassigned, which I think may be a mistake. This one, they really wanted me to work on as well. We'll come back to this one. Okay, so next we're gonna see on the capacity tab. So here's the capacity. Okay, on the capacity tab, the sprint view directly under the activity tab level in the unassigned drop-down list. In the unassigned drop-down list, select the development, and in the capacity per day, assign one. So over here, activity. What is it? We want the development activity. We have only 1 hour we can spend on development. Okay, that's what it's saying. And in the notes is saying that this represents 1 hour of development work per day. And note that you can add additional activities per user in the case they do more than just development. Okay, so we can add more stuff in here if you like. On the capacity tab of the sprints view, directly next to the entry representing your user account in the days of column. Okay, so here's the days of column. Uh, Click the 0 days. So right now in this sprint, I'm not taking any vacation. That says 0 days off. So let's just click on that one, see what happens. In the displayed panel, use the calendar view to set your vacation to spend 5 work days during the current sprint. Okay, so it's for you it may be different. For now, it's starting say February 1. Say I'm going to take this days off 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe next week I'm going to take off 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I'm going to take 7, and then so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's all the days I want to take. So the total number of 5 days, and hit OK. Now back on the capacity tab of the sprint view, click save. So over here, I still need to save this, so let's just save this one. Okay, so we're done with this task. Select the task board tab of the sprints. So again, we're moving between these tabs here. Let's go back to the task board. Okay, so the task board view is now showing what are the tasks that we have. We have a team. Okay, we have looks like 8 of 10 hours. So we have available as a team because I'm the only person available. We have 10 hours available and 8 hours been used. Something like that is telling me. Okay, so here is the team and work by activity. So 3 hours we need to give it to development work or design work, and 5 hour we need to give it to the development work. Okay, and the student, that's me, I got 5 hours allocated for this particular task. Again, if you review some of this over here, note that the work details panel has been updated to reflect your available bandwidth. The actual number displayed in the work details panel might vary, but your total sprint capacity will be equal to the number of working days remaining. So let's just go to then, well, let's look at this one more time. One convenient feature of the board is that you can easily update the key data in line. It's a good practice to regularly update the remaining work estimate to reflect the amount of time expected for each task. Okay, so you can do that from here, which is very good. On the task board tab of the sprint view, in the next step, which is step 11, still in the task board, in the square box representing add page for most recent tutorials. So add page for most recent tutorials, and this one, set the estimated number of hours to match your total capacity for the sprint, which you identified in the previous step. So what we have done, I have identified, I have got a max of what? 10 hours available to me. Okay. 10 hours is available to me. Is that correct? Let me think just just quick. All right. So what is happening? Your total sprint hours that is based on availability of 1 hour each day for 10 days, but I'll be out. So my availability at max is going to be 5 hours because I have 5 days and I can only commit 1 hour uh, a day. So what we need to do in this one, we're going to go to the dashboard tag in the sprint view and add page for the most recent tutorial. Again, I'm going to click on this one. In this one, what we need to do, set the estimated number of hours to match your total capacity. So estimated hours is, well, I am available for 5 hours. So I think I'm okay in here in this particular one, which let me make sure. So remaining work is 5 hours on this one. And I have 5 hours remaining. So I should be good in this one. All right, I figured out the issue. So I was not taking the times up properly. So my hours look a little messed up. So I'm gonna go back and fix my hour, my vacation days. Vacation days has to be in the future. So a sprint that we are planning is between February 28th and March 21st. So it has to be somewhere here. So let's just change that to 28 to 4th of March. Okay, let me see if I can. So it started, started February 28th and is ending. So this one again, February 28th, and it's going to March 4th. Now it's good. Now hit OK. Now you save. Now you go back to task board. Now it might make a little bit more sense. Okay. So now I think the hours are now updated based on my availability. So my availability is really 5 hours now properly. Now it's determined, and the work that we need to do is 5 plus 3. Okay, so there is 8 hours of work that needs to be done. So that's 8 hours of work, and let's see what we can do here. So let's go back to this one once again, and my remaining work is still 5 hours, and I think that's still fine. So we are good. Okay, I think this is what they're trying to do though. So somehow once we applied our leave, okay, the Azure board thought that even after the leave, I should have 11 hours total available to me. Okay, at the moment, only this task is assigned for 5 hours. Okay, but my total availability is 11 hours. If I want, I really can work on this item for a full 11 hour. So what we'll do, what they're asking, open up the page and change the remaining work from 5 to 11. So all of your time should be you should spend on this particular task, and probably you added more tasks, more features, so it will take more. So it's instead of 5 hours, it's going to take 11 hours. So now you see the red bar showed up that looks exactly the same like this. Okay. So now what on this task, on the taskboard tab of the sprints view, in the toolbar on the right hand side, select the views option. Again, here's the view options. And in the view options, select the people entry. So right now we were looking at work details on the backlog. Let's click on the people entry. And in this one, it adjusts the view such that we can review the progress of task per person instead of any backlog item. And there's a lot of customization that are available in this one as well. So in this one, we can click on the configure team setting cogwheel icon directly to the right of the funnel icon. So here is the cogwheel. Okay, you can click on that one. And before I do that, so over here you see the myself, I got 11 hour that is assigned to me, and unassigned is 3 hours. So let's just click on that one. And this one, what we want to do, on the settings panel, click on the styles tab. So here a bunch of different things that are in here. Task, so this is the field tab we are on right now by default. Okay, just go to style and add a styling rule. Okay, in the rule name, say we want to style up our development. Okay, so just name this rule as the development, and in the card color, okay, select the green. Okay, so let's use that one, so that will be our color. So we're done with that step. In the rule criteria section, so this is my rule criteria, so bring it down. Okay, in the field drop down list, select the activity. So select the activity. In the operator drop down list, select equals. So there are multiple things that you can select. Okay, and in the value, we're gonna select development. Okay, with that, we can do save and close. Okay, so see, this one showed up as green. Let's go back in there one more time. So in here, okay, we can now, the next thing, go down to the backlogs tab. Here, we can see the entries on the tab allows you to set the levels available for navigation. Epics are not included by default, but we can change. We can add the epic if you want to. So right now, we are not adding it. Now, on the settings panel, we can go to the working days tab as well. So we go back over here. Here is my working days. So now by default, Monday to Fridays are chosen. If you want, if you have a 24 by 7 watt model, you can change that. Or maybe you are not working Friday, you have a Saturday schedule, you can also change that. So right now I'm not going to change anything. And the last one, the settings panel, click on save and close. So we have already done that. So I'm going to hit close. And now we have successfully completed all of the tasks that came under manage sprint capacity. So that was little confusing, really not complicated. Really in real life, I don't do that much of customization. Maybe some organizations do. Most of the time, we have the task, we assign the people, we configure the number of hours that is needed, make sure our capacity is well equally nicely distributed, and we're done with it. So play with it. Make sure you understand what we did, and if you need that level of customization, go for it. Okay. With that, let's meet in the next video where we are going to customize our Kanban boards. Thank you.